Community health centers have two kinds of patients. One, like everybody else, is the patients that walk in the door one by one. The other is the whole community. The object of community health centers is not just to be providing primary care, the way that's been described, for one patient at a time, but to be intervening in the health of the community to fix the things that are causing people to be sick in the first place.
John Grant went to the Rockefeller Foundation and ended up funding Sidney and Emily Clark in South Africa in the 1940s to start these things called community health centers. The flagship was a rural community health center at a place called Palela, one of the poorest, sickest, most disease-riddled places in the whole country. And I was fortunate enough to end up going there to give one example. On the wall of the examining room where they put me to work seeing patients, the whole wall was covered with graphs, with histograms of the latest data on the incidence and prevalence of major diseases in that community. So you could not look at an individual patient without thinking about the context. Was this community one afflicted with malnutrition, with tuberculosis, with syphilis, with other infectious diseases and conditions that were rampant? And it was a brand new idea to come out of medical school, where all of the focus properly was on acquiring the knowledge and skills to take care of each individual person, but to do more than send them back to the environmental and social and economic and political situations which were making them sick in the first place.
We started with 2 health centers, one in Mississippi Delta, the other a housing project in inner city Boston. Now there are nearly 1,000. With their satellite delivery points, there are almost 5,000 of them. They provide primary care for about 15 million people in this country. Most of them low income, many of them uninsured, many of them minority, all of them in need of health care. In a town called Round Lake, Mississippi, a long time ago, and they were having their annual kind of fundraiser. This is ordinary, sharecropping, poor Mississippi folks having their fundraiser, and I stopped by. I was then director of that first health center, and they didn't know what to do with me because they knew that I didn't know the difference between cotton and soybeans until one of them turned white, and I didn't know the difference between hard mud and soft mud. And they didn't care about my technical medical knowledge. That wasn't what was important to them. Finally, their eyes lit up and they said, "Hey, Doc, we know what you can do. You can raffle off the pig." And that's what I did. I raffled off the pig, and that was my contribution.
A part of the lesson of our experience together in community health centers over these years is how important it can be and how huge a learning experience it can be for community health center staffs to be interdisciplinary, for physicians, administrators, nurses, and community organizers and health educators to work together.
It has been attacked and cut back and attempted to be stifled at multiple points politically over the last 40 years, and never died and always kept growing because it has such deep roots in the community, it meets such important needs, and even conservative people in the Congress and the government have turned out to be its supporters. Health care situation in the country overall is imploding. One of the bedrocks for people in need is the community health center movement. I expect it to hang around for a long time and to grow.